Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will present about our project which is Hadith application. Before that, we want to thank to our lecturer Dr. Shaharuddin after guiding us to complete this project. For your information, Hadith is learning application to facilitate learning basic of Hadith among preschool children. It is aimed to use technology to create educational experience that engage preschoolers and foster their moral and spiritual. We believe this approach will attract young people's interest in learning Hadith from an early age. Then, we recognize the need for innovative methods in educating young learners about Hadith. So, we have developed a prototype of the Hadith application that combines elements of Islamic education with modern technology. Thus, the Hadith application stands as a step forward in integrating Islamic teaching with technological advancement. It is not only foster interest in learning, but also help to understand Hadith in an easier way in this digital age. With the prototype we have produced, we can show how this application is designed to enrich the interactive and relevant learning experience for preschool children.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aiman bin Ahmad Zafir. My matric number 1211997. Okay, I will continue to the project objective part. First, to identify suitable methods for designing an interactive mobile game about basic Hadith for preschool children. Second, to develop and design a basic Hadith game application that will help with learning basic Hadith at Pasti. Last, to evaluate basic Hadith mobile game applications in helping the basic Hadith learning of Pasti preschool students. Okay, let's move on to the next part, which is the rationale of the project. The Hadith project address the gap in Islamic education for preschoolers by using digital tools such as animation, games, and audio to create an interactive platform that enhance understanding and memorization of Hadith. Second, by integrating game elements, the application fosters early interest and religious knowledge, strengthens moral and spiritual foundations, and aligns with digital transformation in education.
Next, design for the application. Let's see the home page of this application. So this application is themed in the green by the current Pasti theme. So there is a setting button on the left side of the application to make it easier for user to set the application mode before starting the game. In the middle of the front page is the application name. Then below it is a choice button whether to start the game or memorizing the Hadith. User need to select off this button to starting using this application. And lastly, at the below of the application is the authentic logo, which shows that the application is an official product with credibility and can be used. If the user press the setting button, this page will appear. There are three components that the user can set. First, the music button, where the user can choose whether to have music when using the application or not. Second, the sound button. This sound when the user press the play button in the Hadith memorization section to hear the Hadith reciting method. And if the user press anywhere in the application, that will make a click sound. Third, the language setting that can be selected by the user. They can set whether they want to use the application in Malay, English and Arabic language. The user can make a choice by simply pressing any of the logo. The language in the application will automatically change and the logo that is not pressed will be slashed. If the user wants to return to the front page of the application, the user can press the cross button at the top right of the application. In addition, in the setting component at the bottom, there is a rate us button for user to give a rating to the application, and term of use and privacy policy button as important application document that contain application development information and as a guide and reference for user. Lastly, at the bottom of the application, there is the authentic logo. Next, this display will appear if the user select the Play a Game button on the front of the application. In this section, the user needs to select the type of game they want to play. All three games above have the same number of levels, which is 10. Each game has its syllabus entered once for years 5 and 6 years. Lastly, at the bottom of the application, there is the authentic logo. For this page, if the user presses the matching game button, there is a back button at the top left of the application for the user to return to the game type selection mode, while the home button at the top right of the application function to return to the front page of the application. In the middle of the display is the game that the user needs to play. For this application, the user is given the freedom to choose the level they want to play by simply pressing the next button at the bottom right of the application without completing the level display. For the return button at the bottom left of the application is function to return to the previous level. This display is the same for all types of the game and level selected by the user. Lastly, at the bottom of the application, there is the authentic logo. Then, this section will appear if the user select the memorizing button on the front page of the application. There are two parts whether the user wants to memorizing the hadith for the 5-year or 6-year syllabus. Both parts have different hadith. There is a setting button at the top left of the application to make it easier for user to set the application mode before game memorizing section start, while the home button at the top right of the application function to return to the front page of the application. Lastly, at the bottom of the application, there is the authentic logo. This page will appear if the user select the 5 years hadith memorization button. For 5 years, there are 9 memorizing hadiths that need to be learned. The user can select any hadith they want to memorize. Same as before, there is a setting button at the top left of the application to make it easier for user to set the application mode before the memorizing section starts. And lastly, at the bottom of the application, there is the authentic logo. If the user select any of the 5-year hadith they want to see before, this page will appear. There is a back button at the top left of the application for the user to return to the hadith list section, while the home button at the top right of the application function to return to the front page of the application. In the top middle of the hadith is the title of the learned hadith. Then below it the hadith and its meaning are displayed. Below the hadith there is a display button where the user can press the button to listen to how the hadith is recited. The hadith reading voice is taken from artificial intelligence AI generate. There is also a next button on the bottom right of the application for user to move to the next hadith and return button on the bottom left of the application for user to go to the previous hadith. Lastly, at the bottom of the application, there is the authentic logo. Now, if the user select the 6 years hadith memorization button, this page will appear. For 6 years, there are 9 memorizing hadiths that need to be learned. The user can select any hadith they want to memorize. Same as before, there is a setting button at the top left of the application to make it easier for user to set the application mode before the memorizing section starts. Lastly, at the bottom of the application, there is the authentic logo. If the user select any of the 6-year hadith, the user will get a display like this. There is a back button at the top left of the application for the user to return to the hadith list section, while the home button at the top right of the application function to return to the front page of the application. In the top middle of the display is the title of the learned hadith. Below it, the hadith and its meaning are displayed. Below the hadith, there is a display button where the user can press the button to listen to the way of the hadith recitation. The hadith reading voice is taken from artificial intelligence generate. There is also a next button on the bottom right of the application for user to move to the next hadith. and a return button on the bottom left of the application for user to go to the previous hadith. Finally, at the bottom of the application, there is the authentic logo.
Next, let's move to the function of the product. First of all, this is the main user interface for the game, which is the welcome screen. The welcome screen features a cheerful character welcoming users with Assalamualaikum, welcome back. It has two main buttons, which is play a game and memorizing. These buttons set against a chalkboard style background, creating a friendly and educational atmosphere. Next, we move to the settings screen, which is the settings screen offers customization with toggles for music and sound effects, and a language selection feature with flag for Malaysia and USA and Egypt. It also includes links for readers and term of use and privacy policy, ensuring professional standards. Next, we move to the next screen, which is game selection screen. This game selection screen presents three interactive activities. First, matching game, fill-in game, and the last one is complete task game, each with an illustrative thumbnail for easy navigation. The banner reads, "Choose," adding an excitement to the player. Next, the game itself. First of all, the first game is matching game. The game uses match Arabic hadith tag with its translation, adding language skill and comprehension. The next one is hadith memorization, offers pathway for 5 and 6 year memorization with character illustration and motivation. And the last one is hadith detail screen, display hadith with Arabic text, English translation, and audio narration for diverse learning styles. Next, let's move to the function. So, this is the advantages and the disadvantages for the app. First, advantages is interactive learning. The app uses games and activities to make learning hadith engaging and fun for children. Next, its cultural relevance. The use of culturally appropriate greetings and content resonates well with the target audience. Third, user-friendly design. With simple navigation, bright colors, and characters, illustration make the app appealing and easy for young users to use. And the last one is multilingual support, which is the language option cater to a broader audience, increasing accessibility. And the disadvantages for the game, first of all, is limited interactivity. The current features may become repetitive over time. More variety in games could improve sustained engagement. Second one is reading dependency. Younger users or non-readers might struggle without sufficient audio or visual aids. And the last one is lack of progress tracking. The absence of tracking features may reduce motivation and prevent users from monitoring their learning progress.
Now, let's see the difficulty during the development of application. First, authenticity and accuracy of content. Developers face the difficulty to make sure that the hadith substance is true to Islamic principle. To preserve the application integrity, extensive investigation, confirmation by Islamic scholars, and many evaluations are necessary. For instance, developer must translate the hadith using the proper terminology so the reader may get its content without being influenced by the original. Number 2, age-appropriate design. Developer must possess the ability and know how to create imaginative activity that can grab consumer attention. A user-friendly interface for parents, teachers, and young children must be developed. Developer must strike a balance between adult functionality and kid-friendly design. Number 3, multilingual application production. To ensure that the application meets the need of audience of different races and different language, this requires developer to provide a platform that has multiple language options. Number 4, technical constraint. When developing an app is device compatibility, developers are worried about ensuring the software works correctly on a variety of devices. Number 5, testing and feedback loop. As developer iterate on the app design, we spend a lot of time getting input from preschool teacher, parents and kids. Without altering the initial goal of the project, developer make every effort to take into consideration any customer comments.